In the next set of lectures, we'll look at the physiology of your respiratory system. So let's look at the different topics that we're going to cover within this area, and then we'll get started. So let me just write all this out on here. So the first one we're going to do is a brief review of anatomy. This way we're all on the same starting point on this. So we'll just do a very brief review on the various structures associated with your respiratory system. Then we're going to get into the nit and gritty of this, and this is going to be the pulmonary respiration. And pulmonary respiration is going to have four primary components. The first one that we're going to be looking at is pulmonary ventilation. And pulmonary ventilation, this is basically how the air is moving into your lungs and how you remove the air from your lungs. So we're going to look at the mechanics of ventilation. So we're going to look at predominantly the skeletal muscles that it's associated with this. We will look at the volume changes. So this is going to be volume changes. Okay, so this is going to be pulmonary volumes, so how much air is in the lung at various stages of breathing. And it will also look at the volume changes of your thoracic cavity itself. Now, the thoracic cavity volume, when that changes, that's associated with inspiration or expiration on this one. The volume changes within the lungs themselves. We're going to be looking at your tidal volume, how much air can fit into your lungs, okay? And the last thing that we're going to be looking at is your brief look at your nervous system and how your nervous system is associated with this. The next part under pulmonary respiration, what we're going to be looking at is a velar gas exchange. And what a velar gas exchange is doing is this is going to be associated with how oxygen gets into the blood and how carbon dioxide leaves the blood and gets into the lungs. So that's the area we're going to be dealing with on this one. The next one down is going to be the transport of gases. So that's the transport of gas within your bloodstream. So once we exchange the gas in the lungs, how do we get them to the cells? And the final thing will be kind of just the opposite of this one, which would be systemic. Okay, so we have the velar gas exchange, which is the exchange of gases within the lungs. The systemic gas exchange is basically just the opposite of that, but we're doing it at the cellular level. So we're exchanging gases from the blood, so red blood cells, and how it gets to the cell, and carbon dioxide, how it gets rid of the carbon dioxide and gets into the blood to be carried back to the lung, and then it just basically starts all over again. So this is what we're going to look at first. So the first video, we will do a review of the anatomy. So stay tuned.